Welcoming to the Shakaama live show with your help, with your host, Shakaama. I apologize. I just came from walking in the Las Vegas sun. It's 100 and something 105 degrees outside, and I have very little hydration. Separate but equal? It's a catchphrase. Separate companies. All female companies, all male companies. They're now proposing to separate companies into female and versus male companies. Now, I'm not going to cast any judgments, but it seems like the more they progress, the more they are actually regressing into a time period. Actually, that never was. I don't believe there was a time period where there was just female companies and just male companies. I think there were just male companies, and then they started hiring women when women got into the workforce. That's how it happened. And the only reason that there were male companies is that the tradition was that the man worked, provided for the family, brought home the money, and the wife spent it. Whether she spent it wisely or not is up to the individual wife. And now they're proposing, with all of the various political movements and social movements, that they should have separate female companies and separate male companies. Here's the problem. When you start asking the taxpayers to fund the all-female companies, because of course now then you're going to say that it's not fair that men have more funding than women. It's an unfair advantage that the male companies have been in business for 100 years, and for women to catch up, they need funding, and that funding should be funded by the taxpayers. Now, of course, it goes without saying that at no point did the male companies get funding from the taxpayers. The male companies got funding from other males, other investors, people who had funds. That's how it goes. I just saw the formation of a company that almost immediately went to $1 billion in capitalization, and after doing their funding rounds, and it was 3 or 4 men. And it's one of these robot restaurants, so that the restaurant is basically made by robots with an original chef in the background to create the dishes, and then the robot, of course, does all of the prep work. And so basically, it's one chef and a kitchen staff of robots. And so then you have the founders, all the founders doing their various jobs in the company. Why is that all male? Because it's 4 guys who are friends. That's it. Literally 4 guys who are friends. They didn't go out looking for men. They were 4 friends, said that they would form a company with robots. And so that's how it happens. That's how it always happens. It's all of the personal relationships that one has that forms a lot of the entrepreneurship in the United States, which is what you all are all supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to have jobs. You're supposed to have your own company, and each person is to contribute to society by having their own company, contribute whatever portion of whatever you do, especially specialty, specifically, yeah, whatever your special talent is, right? So if your talent is candlestick making, you open up a candlestick making business. That's how it is. They're turning that reality on its head and saying this was intentionally formed to keep out women, when in fact that is not the case. When in fact the women weren't even a consideration whatsoever. And this is what they're doing. They keep this narrative, they keep going on that you're not hiring women. No, women weren't a part of the foundation. Women weren't there. They just weren't there. They weren't there. They weren't there. Now, if you think that's an impossibility, 80% of the cars or of the vehicles, that's all vehicles, driven on the road are driven by men. Are men keeping out women from driving on the road? No. It's just one of those facts. It's one of those realities. 80% of all vehicles, whatever that form that takes, on the road are driven by men. So yes, men have more accidents. Yes, men pay more in insurance premiums. Men pay more insurance to be a doctor. They pay more insurance to be lawyers. They pay more insurance to be Indian chiefs. Why? Because that's what they do. It's something like that for pedestrians. Of the people walking on the sidewalk, day or night, an overwhelming majority are going to be men. So this narrative that men have kept out women from anything, of course, is a false narrative. Men don't seek women. Men don't seek to dissuade women from doing anything. Women have their own behavior that they adhere to. One is they don't drive much. They don't walk much. I don't see you passing laws to make women drive more. I don't see you passing laws to make women walk more. So then why are you trying to pass laws to make women do more sports, open up more companies, get into positions in a business in which they are unqualified for, get into positions in a college to which they are unqualified for? And I'm not talking about professorship, I'm talking about student-wise. So you're trying to put women into businesses that they're not qualified for. You're trying to put women into colleges, get into colleges that they're not qualified for. An overwhelming majority of the affirmative action, like 90%, goes to white women. These are just facts. So now because they are believing their own narrative, which is untrue. Men are not keeping out women. And in fact, since the 60s, men couldn't pay women less and men couldn't hire women less. Since the 60s. Since it was actually written into law. You cannot find anywhere, unless there is just some outright illegality in some sort of court case, you cannot find where companies are massively not hiring women and not paying women equal to men. But they're believing their own narrative to such a degree that now they want women-only companies and they want men-only companies. Please tell me, if you're a woman, do you think this has gone too far? Do you think this is the way it should be? Should there be only women companies? Should there be only men companies? The rarity of abusing women seems to be overwhelming and outstripped when you get into the business world for some reason. For some reason, all of a sudden, stuff that is like 0.01% of the population mistreating women skyrockets when you get into business. I don't know what that's about. Please, somebody tell me. Please leave a comment below about that. and like the video. I'm very curious to know. I love reading all of your comments. Please like the video. Thank you.